All right, so these are the notes for 3.5. This is the point slope formula. This is the last section in chapter 3. So just, have a sense, this is where this ends, and then from here, we move on to the next thing in chapter 4. So the point slope formula is just, everything's hung up here, hold on. Another way to write an equation of a line. It is given different information. So in the last form, it was y equals mx plus b. This was slope intercept because we had the slope and the intercept. Point slope formula is essentially what it sounds like. It is a formula, looks like this, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where m is the slope and you're given a point on the line. So that's the difference here. For when you're given a slope, you use y equals mx plus b. When you know the point and the slope, you're using point slope formula. I know. So we're going to use the point slope formula to write an equation of a line with a slope of 3 passing through -2, -4. There is one thing to be careful of. So the formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Notice these are subtractions, okay? So they are going to impact what happens when we put things into the formula. So I'm going to put in my slope. That's going to go here where m is. The x and the y are standard. I leave them alone. x1 is the x value of the point, and it is -2. So I have minus -2. Got to be careful there. Oops. And then the y value is -4, so it's minus -4. What you see is going to happen here is I get y minus minus, that's going to be plus y plus 4 equals 3 times x plus 2. That is the point slope form. Generally speaking, from here, you can translate this into slope intercept form. So you would just do the math we know how to do, distribute the 3, and simplify this equation, because as it is now, it's not really simplified. 3x plus 6 minus 4 to both sides. And the final answer is y equals 3x plus 2. So here it's in point slope form, and here it's in slope intercept form. This slope intercept form is the more simplified form. Okay, and that's where we're usually going to end. So you try this one, same process, see where you get. Okay, pause and actually try it. So I know the slope is -4. The x is standard. The y is standard. So the x value is -1, so minus -1. And y, it's 5, so it's just y minus 5. So I'm going to simplify one step. Y minus 5 equals -4, x plus 1. And then from there, I am going to transform it into the more simplified form. So I'm going to distribute the 4. Y minus 5 equals -4x minus 4. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. And I'm going to get y equals -4x plus 1. That's it. Okay. This is not terrible, right? So we're going to use the point slope formula to find the equation of a line passing through the points -2, 5 and 4, -1. So in this case, it gave me 2 points and no slope. So the question you have to ask yourself is like, what the heck do we do now? Well, we have a process for finding the slope, right? We know how to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the slope. And given 2 points, that's completely possible. Remember, it's y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. We have that. So I'm going to make this point number 1, this point number 2, and it's going to be -1 minus 5 over 4 minus -2. So on the top, I'm going to get -6. On the bottom, I'm going to get 6. And that means my slope is going to be -1. Now, I'm going to write the equation. The key point here is that I can use either point. It doesn't matter. Okay, use whichever, either -2, 5 or 4, -1. You don't need them both. You just use one of them. So I'm going to use this first one. So I'm going to have y minus the y value, 5, equals the slope, which is -1, x minus -2. That's it. And then I'm going to simplify just like I've been doing. Okay, so I'm going to distribute the negative 1. I get y minus 5 equals negative x minus 2. Add 5. And I'm going to get y equals negative x plus 3. That's it. Okay, let's try another one. Here's the next one. You pause, you try it. Do the same thing you did. Okay. When you find the slope should be 2. When you write the equation, well, I'm going to use the first point again. It should be y plus 1 equals 2 times x minus 1. And when you simplify down, that should be y equals 2x minus 3. Okay? If you're stuck anywhere, please come into the discussion and ask. All right. So this is a little different. We're going to use the point slope formula to find an equation of a line passing through the point, negative 1, 0, and parallel to the line y equals negative 4x plus 3. Write the final answer in slope-intercept form. So now here's the thing. What do we know? We aren't given a slope, but we don't, so do we not know the slope? We find the slope as our first question, right? Well, we know that when lines are parallel, their slopes are equivalent, right? And I know what the slope of this line is. So when they're parallel, slopes are equal. And I know that the slope of the first line is negative 4 over 1. So I know that the slope of the second line is also negative 4 over 1. So I know that that's the slope. So now I just have to write the equation. So I have y minus 0, well, that's handy, equals negative 4 times x minus negative 1. Well, y minus 0 is just y. And then I'm going to distribute the negative 4. And negative 4x, this became a plus, so minus 4. And I'm done. That's it. Okay? You try the next one. This one is not scary. It just has fractions in it. You won't die. Use the point slope formula to write an equation of a line passing through 8, 2 and parallel to the line y equals 3 plus x minus a half. So that is how we're going to approach this. Take a second and see if you can figure out how to start. Okay, so the first thing we know is we know that the slope is 3/4, right? So I'm going to use that to write my line. I have y minus 2 equals 3/4. I'm going to use the same slope because they're parallel, x minus 8. And then it's just a matter of simplifying. And you know what? You will not die from distributing 3/4. You have a calculator. But I know it's going to be 3/4 x, and 3/4 of 8 is 6. And I'm just going to add 2 to both sides. I get y equals 3/4 x minus 4. Just checking my brain for a sec. All right. One step further here, okay? So now this one says, use the point slope formula to find the equation of a line through the point, we're given a point, and perpendicular to this line. The thing I need to notice about this line, it is not in y equals mx plus b format. So before I can take the slope out of it, and excuse the squeaking, we have a puppy. Before I can take the slope out of it, I have to put this in the right format. So I'm going to first transform my equation. So I have 3x plus y equals negative 2. I'm going to subtract the 3x from both sides. When I do that, I'm going to get y equals negative 3x minus 2. So the slope is negative 3, okay, for this line. But remember, when lines, what they wanted was perpendicular lines. And when they're perpendicular, the slope of the first one is the negative reciprocal of the second. Okay, so I have to take that negative 3. If the first one is negative 3, I have to flip it over and change the sign. So it's going to be 1/3. It's already negative. It's going to be positive. So the slope of my line is going to be 1/3. Now I can write my equation. So I'm gonna run out of room. That's gonna be fun. When I run out of room, I'm gonna get, let's see, y minus 3, I think that's a 3 up there, equals 1/3 x, oh, that's the x point, that's y minus -1, sorry, I should actually use the y coordinate, x minus 3. Okay, now I just have to simplify. Y plus 1 equals, distribute the 1/3, 1/3 x, 1/3 of x is 1. And then I'll subtract 1 from both sides. I get y equals 1/3 x minus 2. Okay. All right, so you try this next one. It's the same process. Simplify the equation, put it in the right format, y equals mx plus b first. Find the perpendicular slope, and then put in the point. So I will tell you the slope you're gonna use in point slope form. You're gonna use y, your point slope equation is gonna be y minus 4 equals 2, x minus 10. And then your final equation, slope intercept, is gonna be y equals 2x minus 16. So if you get stuck, come into the discussion and ask a question. All right, there is just a handy little review here in this section about different forms of equations. So this is, honestly, this is one of those things, like if I was a student, I'd print and like hide in my notebook somewhere, so I had it handy. So standard form is ax plus by equals c, gives you an example. A horizontal line, something like y equals 4, slope is 0, y-intercept is 0, k. A vertical line is something like x minus 1, undefined slope, and the x-intercept is k0. And then this is slope-intercept form and all of the details. And then the next slide is point slope form and all the details. Super handy to have in your pocket. That's why it's here. All right, so one quick additional thing. We have to find the equation of a line passing through the point 2, negative 4, pardon me, and parallel to the x-axis. So think about what parallel to the x-axis means. It goes that way. If it's gonna go through the point 2, negative 4, I need to think about what the slope of a horizontal line is. The slope of a horizontal line is 0, isn't it? When it's parallel to the x-axis. So I'm gonna use that in my equation. So I'm gonna do y minus -4 equals 0 times x minus 2. I get y plus 4 equals, well, when I distribute 0 here, it's gonna be nothing. And then I'm subtract 4 from both sides. I'm gonna get y equals -4. We're gonna try this for a vertical line also. So if I write this, the equation for a vertical line looks like that. The slope is undefined. There's no slope here, or there's not no slope, it's just, it doesn't exist. That's not how you write that word, but you got the idea. So I know if a vertical line, we saw this horizontal line was y equals -4. What I could have done is just taken the y value. Y is -4. So when I know this, the slope is undefined, I can just take the x value. Okay. I can do x is -7. That's all. That's all I want to do here. It's the line through, I'm sorry, in my notes I have a little mistake. X is -7. So this is it for the end of chapter 3. Continue on from here in the module. Do what you know you need to do next. If you have a question, you know how to get in touch.